Let's just start with that.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Six-point swing to end the half with the New England Patriots getting the ball to start the third quarter. The least of the worries for the Arizona Cardinals after 2 quarters of play on Monday Night Football. Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day. Kyler Murray goes down on the third offensive play of the game. Non-contact, knee injury. You hope for the best. You fear the worst because that's kind of what happens with non-contact injuries. Zach Wilson did go down with a similar injury in the preseason, only missed 6 weeks. I don't know if this is that. I don't know if this is worse than that. Hard-pressed to believe that it's better than 6 weeks with Kyler Murray coming back. It's just brutal. You know, it's not something that you prepare for to talk about. It's not something you prepare for to happen. And obviously you don't want injuries to happen to anybody. But here we sit, Cardinals up 13-10, Colt McCoy playing all but 3 offensive snaps of the game. We're going to talk about this a lot in the upcoming week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, all off season, because if this is an ACL tear for Kyler Murray, we're looking at maybe he'll play next season. You can't have the Adrian Peterson 6-month timeline. Adrian Peterson was a specimen that you can't compare to most. So if Kyler Murray did tear his ACL, we could be looking at who's playing quarterback next season. We could be looking at, I'm not going to have these conversations yet, but these are the conversations that are going to need to be had. Does Cliff Kingsbury now get a pass? Does Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim now get a pass through all of next season? Because I did tweet out that injuries happen to everybody. I should have said in parentheses, aside from your elite quarterback, your franchise quarterback, you just paid a whole bunch of money. That changes things. It skews things. It differentiates 2 situations. But as we sit now, the Cardinals up 13-10 at halftime, and they played fine. The defense, aside from one long, sustained drive, ending with a Kevin Harris touchdown, have played fine. They've played well. Byron Murphy out. Marco Wilson was hurt, so he's questionable to return. Zach Allen and Cam Thomas look to be beasts. And Zach Allen's going to make a lot of cheese this offseason. It's gonna complicate things for Michael Bidwell. The gymnastics around the salary cap going into 2023. It's going to be like preparing for the Olympics with those gymnastics. Because Zach Allen's going to need to get paid. Byron Murphy's probably going to get paid. And then you have Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins as well. Thanks for hanging out halftime live on Twitter, Spaces, and YouTube. Cardinals up 13-10. The offenses looked okay. James Conner looked good. Looked like what to be a scary injury on the sideline. Ended up coming back, having a full-on beast mode touchdown run with seemed to be 8 of the 11 New England Patriots defenders in front of him. He somehow found pay dirt. Put the Cardinals up. We may as well talk about this because, yes, the Kyler Murray injury is the biggest storyline out of the first half, obviously. There's going to be a lot of time to discuss the what-ifs if what is feared to have happened officially happened with him tearing his ACL. We don't know that. There are no reports of that officially yet, but no contact injuries. That's kind of what happens. 4th and 2, Cliff decides to go for it. Okay, you're up 13-7, under a minute left. It's about a 48 or 49-yard field goal. Could have gone up 2 scores. with New England getting the ball to start the second half. This is a play in two parts. First, do you go for it? You surprised that he did? Is anybody surprised that he did? It's such an interesting dynamic in between his ears when on 3rd and 5, inside the 30, inside the 25, he throws a go route again, okay, into the end zone. Hollywood Brown. Instead of getting a first down, it's like, you know what? Get 3 here, be just all right. There is plenty of room to just throw a 5 or 7, 8 yard out, get a first down, and then continue the drive. But he throws a go route there, and then on 4th and 2, he decides instead of taking the points, like, listen, we're going to go for it. And come what may. Now, so that should he have gone for it? Probably not. But this is what Cliff Kingsbury's world is. Now, having said that, it was a great play call. It was a great play call. Trey McBride was wide open for the first down. And Colt McCoy, he got his footing off, and, it just didn't work out. He definitely would like to have that one back. Great play call. Should it have been called to begin with? That's the back and forth. That's what we've talked about, Cliff, since 2019. This is really coming to a head here where it's like he goes for it at every 4th down. Going for it at every 4th down. And then the Patriots come to proceed after a fumble that the Cardinals should have recovered. I don't know how the Cardinals didn't recover that fumble. Nick Folk, 51-yarder. Now 13-10 going into the third quarter where the Patriots get the ball. This is going to test the mettle of the Arizona Cardinals defense. Okay. The offense now has an out. Ben, starting to think that Kyler got his contract and is laying down and collecting. Yeah, you can take that somewhere else. Appreciate it. The first possession of the third quarter is going to test the mettle of the Arizona Cardinals defense. If they can get a 3 and out on a very mid offense, I think they're averaging 16 points a game or something like that. Like, if the Cardinals defense can get a stop, you're going to start to see the rallying. Okay. If the Patriots come down and score a touchdown in pretty convincing fashion, this game could get out of hand. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's kind of in shock with what's happened with Kyler Murray and the other injuries to go alongside it. And this tests the intestinal fortitude of a team. This tests the stability and fortitude of a coaching staff. These are games where you see who the true people you can trust to be stable and foundationalized are. And we'll see with Cliff Kingsbury on offense and this defense what the Cardinals can put together in the second half. If they can come out and get a win at home with Kyler Murray out, with injuries abound, it'll show a lot about the growth of this team. Regardless of what it leads to, Cardinals probably aren't going to make the playoffs this year. Like, that's not the point. The point is positive takeaways that you can take away from this season and have it not just be marred by what could have been. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. I will talk to you right after the game is over, just on YouTube. If you don't subscribe to the YouTube channel right now,